And then I scream in front of all the crew. I go, Ryan, you got a lot of pool. Don't let that just be lip service, man. Make that happen.
Oh, no,
and nobody.
It got desperate. It
got real desperate. And then he kind of was just looking at me like, dude, speak when spoken to, rando.
It's the best.
Okay.
It's the best joke.
I love where your head's at.
You got 5 more scenes.
I go,
you got 5 more scenes. After that, did you have to f him to get the 5 scenes?
So let me finish this Jim Carrey story.
Yes, please.
Even though, by the way, From Chet Hanks to Jim Carrey will be the name of my memoir.
By the way, and I'm telling you, probably more starstruck by Chet Hanks myself. Hi guys, welcome to Anniewood, episode 82. Oh my goodness, it's incredible. We're almost at the year of my birth, 1983. Guys, we have the hilarious Adam Ray, who is blowing up as his character Dr. Phill right now. But as you see, he's done a lot of other things you'll see later in this episode. It was such a fun, we just had such a blast. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. You can see the uncensored version on the Patreon. We also, Todd has made some really hilarious swag that's gonna go out to our $20 tier. And we're working on it. We have a lot more cool stuff coming. So join the party and resist the darkness, baby. I am on the road. I am still on the road to doing the special, so everything is getting so crisp and so amazing, and it is so important to hear your feedback and make you laugh right now, guys. I am so excited to be on the road. You can see me in Oxnard, California in a couple weekends, June 7th and 8th. You can see the next Anniewood and Friends is June 18th. We have some incredible comics on. We have Kumail Nanjiani, Johnny Pemberton, and many more. I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida at the Comedy Zone, June 28th and 29th. Irvine, California, July 19th and 20th, my birthday. Come celebrate it with me. I'm gonna be in Phoenix, Arizona at the Desert Ridge Improv, July 25th and 27th. I'm gonna be in Toronto at the Comedy Bar, August 30th and 31st. I'll be in Eugene, Oregon, September 12th. Tacoma, Washington, September 13th and 14th. Naples, Florida, October 10th. Bloomington, Minnesota, October 18th through 19th, and Chicago at the Den Theater, October 23rd. I can't wait to see you guys. Get tickets at annielederman.com/shows, and I love you.
Welcome to Anniewood.
There's a guy I used to be a tour guide with at Universal Studios, and it was my first day job out here, and you know, we would make videos, and he was like a lot of sketch stuff, and I've just known him forever, and he's now a VIP tour guide, and I ran into him like 3 months before the wedding.
You both made it in like a way?
Yeah.
In a way, you both
for
hit
sure.
the top of your game.
And I went to his wedding, but I was actually surprised I was invited. And I was officiating Adam Devine's wedding the day after, but I drove 3 hours north to NorCal, went to the wedding, partied too hard, and had to drive back, and I slept somewhere in the lobby for like 3 hours to sober up, and then drive back and literally pull into LA, grab my bag, go to the airport, and officiate Divine's wedding the next day. But I was surprised to even go to the wedding. So he was not invited to mine because we just lost touch. And there are people now in my life that I'm like, I want them to be there.
Yeah.
The morning of the wedding, and there was one guy that we were also a tour guide with that runs a winery up in Napa. He's come to every show I do in NorCal. He hits me up all the time. Congrats on this, whatever. He just goes out of his way to keep in touch. So this other guy, Jeff, does not, but like we've known each other forever. And so 9:30 a.m. the next morning after my wedding, because people have posted, I actually am going to pull the text up. I think I saved it. It's oh God, are we going? I mean, you could bleep his name out and I could read it. I actually don't give a Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can keep this if you want. I'll just bleep his name because this is actually bananas. And if he hears it, you know what?
But I also think
he
this is like
deserves
a
to hear
relatable
that.
thing, and people do need to feel uncomfortable. People need to feel the discomfort of the awkward social interaction.
I will say this, there are a lot of homies that I do like, and that was a problem. Like Amanda was like, you got to stop inviting your 4th grade math teacher.
It's hard.
Like not everybody, but I'm like, I really want everybody to be there. And there's truly people that I'll probably never get over not inviting. But
I do feel like though, as like you're a friend that would not have expected to be at a level that would be expected to be at your wedding. But I felt really like, I felt very happy seeing the videos of it. And I felt like it was awesome. Yeah. And like,
yeah.
But
guess what? There's a world where I would have loved you guys to be there. Do you know what I'm saying?
We would have crushed the wedding, but it's like, yes. But
so like that.
But
like, Honestly.
There's nothing funnier than when you get invited to a wedding and you go, that's so weird that you hold me in a level of your top 130 friends.
Sure.
Even.
Well, it's like when MySpace had the top 8.
Yes.
You go, I hope, that was really a big deal to make someone's top 8. Now, when it expanded to 40, if you weren't in that, you're dead to that person.
Yes.
I remember having one of my best friends from Seattle had like Obama and Schwarzenegger on MySpace in his top 40 and not me. And I go, you don't even know those people. And those are fake accounts. And he was like, yeah, but it looks cool. I go, delete my number.
My top 8 was always funny. I had like Jonathan Lipnicki, who I did become friends with. But he was like, weren't you he blocked me at one point because I was like trolling him on MySpace before you could even troll. Like it was like,
how could you troll on MySpace?
I just would be like, I wanted to get him to write me because I was just like a go-go dancer and like I was an innkeeper in New Mexico. I was like,
you were a go-go dancer?
Yes, it's the weirdest thing. I've had weird lives.
You have to come on the Phill show soon.
It was very, very weird. Yeah.
All right. So here's the text. So morning after the wedding. Oh man. Congrats, man. 10:56 a.m., October 30th. Wedding was October 29th, 2022. Congrats, man. Not sure why I wasn't invited, but my wishes of joy and happiness to you. I sent back a voice note, which I don't think is
your voice note.
I don't think I was required to do that.
Right.
My wife was like, that's bull. Even some of my buddies were like, dude, you don't owe him anything.
Yeah, that's
just
like
him doing that is
so crazy.
Yeah. He sent back, appreciate the words. Definitely hurts a bit. Feels like being cut from the junior high basketball team after having the game of my life. Having gone through the wedding planning and ceremony, I very much understand. Still hard not to be like, what? This person, not me? Do I need to blah, blah, blah to be invited to the wedding? Anyway, hope we can talk about how magical it was soon. Have a great blah, blah, blah.
Like you're going to chat with him and tell him how fun it was?
Because I went out of my way. I am such a people pleaser and I actually wouldn't say people pleaser. I don't want people to feel bad.
Exactly. It's like,
so I went out of my way to be like, dude, don't take it personal. They're like, you're one of many people that I would have loved to have there. Family, this and that. We had to cap it. And I met a guy, in the bathroom at Taco Bell and he was cooler than you. So don't take it personal. And he did. But it's such a tricky thing. Those guest lists, you guys will figure this out. It's like the tables, the things we fought about. I will say this, Todd, be involved. Like, don't like,
if it's gonna happen, Todd's gonna be very involved because what am I gonna plan it? Me?
Hilarious.
Me.
But it's also like it is fun to do certain things together because like you do go back. We went at one point, she was like, we need to pick the font. We need to make a website. And she was like, let's go to a little bar and get some dinner and do this. And that was one of the cooler things in the experience, not just sitting at home and stressing. It was like, we went out and we made a thing out of it.
Yeah. You went to like trivia night to do it?
That's a great idea. I'm a big trivia night guy now. Her and her buddies go in Santa Monica once a month, and it's pretty fun.
See, this is the advantage to dating someone outside of comedy. You're like, oh, what? Because I'm always like, what do people that aren't in comedy do?
Yeah.
Like, what do they do? It's like, I guess, escape rooms and
that's a hard pass. Karaoke for sure.
I clown on escape rooms, and then I go. I get ignited. I get ignited in them. I push my mom over. Listen, I always think I'd be someone.
What a great little. It's like I went up like that, and it was almost like that's going to be our new handshake, where you went out like that, and I went like.
No, let's do an intro.
Okay.
Who cares? You
can use all that.
Let's just like.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just tell them the story about my mom, please?
Yeah.
Todd.
This is great. This is very pro.
This is a nightmare. See, this is what our wedding planning is going to be like. Like. Can we just stay on track?
Can you just do the vows?
In this escape room, I always think like if there was an earthquake or something, I would like protect my family. I would do everything. I would sacrifice myself to save them.
A real earthquake or the comedian earthquake?
If earthquake was there, I'd be like, I'd be laughing so hard that is that why he's called earthquake? Because we shake in our seats.
Oh my God.
He does crush.
He does
he
murder.
Smashes.
That's fun. Who knows the origin story of earthquakes?
Is it like we become tectonic plates or something? I was trying to remember a word from.
Good. Look at you.
Anyway.
8th grade science.
I pushed my mom. I hired a zombie actress to come in. Like I paid an extra $50 to like have this woman come in.
Worth it.
Right? And so I knew she was coming in. When she came in, my fight or flight ignited so hard. I ran, I shoved my mom, I smacked the door open, I hurt the zombie, I pushed my mom. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
It was fun.
Oh my God.
I hurt my parents.
What do you love about escape rooms?
It's just like a puzzle and there's a time limit.
Is it the fear too? Is it like
you're just like on edge and you want to win and they're hard to win. They're actually hard to win.
Scary, right?
This one was scary. Wasn't it scary as hell when she came in?
So Amanda, my wife, went to an escape room type dinner theater show, but it was like, it's like
just like the food's bad and you're trying to get out.
Hilarious. Yeah. It was just an old Olive Garden. They're just like, everyone here's 90 and they pee in all the appetizers. No, it was, I need to figure out the name of it, but it was like with real actors. Like this was a gig for people. And it's like aggressive. Like at one point they come up and they're like, the little boy is dead. Like everyone's looking for him. And they're like, oh, all right. I was just trying to finish this meatball. And they're like, no, the little boy's dead. I'm paraphrasing, but it got crazy real quick. They go, come with me. She goes upstairs in a hallway. And then all of a sudden she just turns around and they lock her in a bathroom. And then somebody comes in, a guy with a knife and goes, take off your clothes and get in the bathroom and bet in the bathtub. And she goes, what? I swear to God. And then all the lights go off and he goes, well, then this or something and like leaves. Again, I'm paraphrasing. I'm also not far off at all. I could actually call her to get a little bit more of the explanation, but she goes, I started crying because I'm locked in this bathroom when the lights are off for 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden she's hearing screams. She finds another one of her friends. She's like, what the f-? She goes, dude, some guy just cornered me and like tried to like grope me.
He wasn't even in the show.
Oh my God. It was one of
That's actually,
it was the guy who got fired from Pizza Hut like an hour ago.
Is that not the best scam? You just go in as though you're one of the actors?
I mean, now look, the whole place was called Kingdom. So I think that there is probably
like a little boy was and murdered. Who's the murderer? You have to find out who the murderer is.
Oh, I mean, it is not. What sucks is that we're joking, but this is all very close to what she experienced.
People would want to do that. People are so obsessed with true crime. They would be so down.
I think that's where they get off on being like, people will love this. And then you're also in the hubbub of crazy delusional actors that are like, dude, I'm going to make people believe that they're in hell because I'm going to commit to the idea that this little boy was and then killed, or maybe he's still alive. I think, and then they all get back to their seats and then eat their fucking salads like they didn't just get almost.
Were there little boys like actors? That's scary. If there's like a little boy actor, they should be like, there's like a bunch of little boy actors running around. They're like, one of them was, guess which one? It was just like one guy that's like licking a knife.
Oh my God.
Just like fully diddled.
Yeah, that's too much.
We used to, did you ever do Tina and Tony's wedding, Todd? Do you remember this?
I do. Only from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, really? They had it on there?
Yeah.
It was awesome. Tina and Tony's rule.
Larry, they did an episode where Larry went to it, and then the guy, he's like Cheryl's tennis instructor, and he's got a crush on Cheryl. And Larry's in the bathroom with him, and the guy goes, hey, what's up? And Larry goes, hey, Mark. And he goes, Mark, who's this guy? His like name is like Tony. Is like, and Larry goes, cut the shit, man. He goes, cut this shit. Where the fuck? It's brilliant. And he goes, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, so who do you know at the wedding? He goes, let's not do this. What are we doing? We're in the fucking bathroom. What are we doing? It's brilliant.
Isn't it weird that we know Cheryl Hines now?
I mean, I just met her at the forum.
Isn't that so weird that we met and the way and the circumstances to which?
Yeah. You know her. Okay.
No, isn't that crazy that is the circumstances to which we're like, if you told me like when I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm when I was like, 26, just like, this is the funniest show I've ever seen.
You love
this
it,
woman's awesome. Like if you were like, you're going to meet her, what's going to happen is
what's the context?
She's going to divorce. What's going to happen? She's going to divorce her manager husband.
Oh, really?
She used to date. She was married to one of the some manager.
Yep.
I can't remember. Paul Young. And then she's going to divorce him for a Kennedy.
For a Kennedy of all people.
For a Kennedy.
Not even a Bush. There's more Bushes than Kennedys around.
I know. For a Kennedy. The Kennedy is going to run for president. He's going to get ripped. Okay. His voice is also going to get ripped. A lot of things are going to get ripped.
Yeah. Get a brainworm.
He's going to get a brainworm. A week after the brainworm, he's going to come with a cut in his head.
Oh, yeah. What was that about?
Was the brainworm was recently, right?
Yeah, but the cut, you can put a Band-Aid on that.
Also,
he was
it was
bleeding
very Kennedy.
from
Was
the
it not
face.
Kennedy of him to have like a cut in his head?
Very funny.
I was like, are you dressing like your dad?
Did you hear my joke, my cover-up? I go, Aaron Belial, who has he types on the phone to talk. Yeah. And so, it can't speak incredibly clear. And so RFK also with a little bit of I don't even know what that was, but he he's got something else going on from the brainworm has affected his ability to speak.
Wait, the brainworm is what did it?
That's what I heard.
I thought the brainworm was like last week. I thought he like just
no. But that affected how he speaks.
Oh, okay. The brainworm is how he had this.
So I was supposed to be on this Kill Tony at the Forum. I was supposed to be on after Aaron Belial. And so I'm backstage and I go, I got time to pee. It's Aaron, then me. And all of a sudden I step out of the bathroom and somebody just goes, hey, they're looking for you in a real casual way.
You're like, the
Yeah, he goes,
thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
He goes, they're looking for you. I go, oh, yeah, I'm on after Aaron. He goes, no, they just called you right now. I'm that casual. So I fucking sprint, and literally I'm like, oh, he probably meant they're about to call me. No, Annie, Todd, as I run out, I hear, they're playing the Phill music, and I see fire, and I go, get the fuck out of here. I run up the stairs, and that's why it was like I was probably 4 or 5 seconds too late after when I came out. But still, when I saw a shot of it, I go, all right, still looks like I was just milking the entrance.
Right.
But like 2 more seconds, people would have been like, what the fuck, dude? Why did you suck the energy out of the room? So I get out there, and I thought Aaron hadn't come out yet. So I was trying to have all these roast jokes, and I go, Aaron Belial's here. That's how you say his last name, right? I think Belial. Yeah, I believe so. And so he hadn't come out yet, though. So and I realized that
gay.
As hilarious as no, he's
like, I'm mute, I'm gay.
And so I go, Aaron's here.
Was he the Nike swoosh guy?
Yes,
oh, God,
with the hand,
yeah.
Person. Oh yeah. I said, you texted me that, yeah. He's got a little arm like that, and I said, yeah, Aaron's
sponsored by Nike.
Sponsored by Nike. Is that why your arms framed like a swoosh? yeah. And so he goes, he hadn't come out yet, so I realized that as I said, Aaron Belial's here, and then I go, oh wait, no, that was RFK, and I just covered.
So good
because I needed to cover it, and I was also like, that's kind of funny, but also like I hadn't planned on digging RFK, but I was like, I need to cover.
Well, also that's probably what he wants, right? Because
I don't know.
Come out to Kill Tony, everyone and be like, we're so like.
But you never know people's like threshold for sensitivity. Like, how do we know he's not like make fun of my family and everything, but don't make fun of my fucking worm voice, you know? But because he almost does sound like. Remember in Labyrinth, there was that little worm?
Yes.
That was like, don't go over there.
It's the worm got in his brain, is now talking for him.
The worm from Labyrinth is
now inside him.
Inside running his vocal cords like a puppet master.
The worm is who
don't
wants to run for president.
Don't quote me on that. That's just what I read on Twitter.
The worm is like, has the game to get Cheryl Hines, to steal her from her husband, to like.
That worm
which, by the way, maybe they were having marital problems. I don't know.
You don't think that worm knows what the fuck it's doing? It told Jennifer Connelly to go right or left and was like, don't go there, you're going to fall down a fucking sewer of hands. Or you can go that way and see David Bowie's cock.
But
she
it's like,
definitely went left.
Definitely take the part later in life of in Requiem for a Dream, because we'd love to see that A to A scene.
Yeah.
Could there have been anything?
It's a great movie scene.
I saw it with my dad. My dad and I went to the movie theater and saw.
I saw Two Girls, One Cup with my dad. So you win. You win as far as better movie experiences go.
I feel like it would be worse. It is worse.
You know what's so funny? I made a Two Girls, One Cup reaction video that went viral.
Recently?
No.
He's been sitting on that one for a while.
That's so funny. Can you imagine somebody now being like, yeah, dude, it's like coming back around. So like people are making reaction videos.
If you think hasn't been a recent.
Oh my God, that's really funny. So I think it was YouTube came out in 2006, really got going. And all of a sudden these videos start popping off. And I see these reaction videos, people showing it to their grandmas, showing it to their moms, young kids. So I had this, I'm a big Muppet fan. That's what I want to do for a long time, was be a Muppeteer. That's why I said Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies. Jim Henson to me is like, there's a documentary Ron Howard did coming out on Disney Plus about Jim Henson, end of May.
Do anything bad, right?
No.
Is it scary sometimes when the things
other than like, I think cheated on his wife and he was a workworkaholic, dude. He was probably a bad dad is what I've heard later in life.
There's always like an there's always like some sort of thing.
But he was a genius and he was addicted to fucking like working and creating. I don't know. He was a legend.
Don't you think a puppeteer seems like someone that would obviously cheat on their wife?
Yes.
They
totally.
like to be inside new
other people
sleeves.
Well, yes. I mean, yes. So
lady sleeves.
So I had this Kermit the Frog.
Can be the most. She is kind of like the best.
The best sleeve.
If you say she is the best puppet of all.
Now, so you're saying a Muppeteer would probably be the best at fisting.
Yes, because
they just know how to get the whole.
A woman is the best one. They get up there and they kind of control her a little bit.
Now, where do we stand on fisting? Hold that thought. We'll be right back. No, but do hold that thought. And we don't need to keep talking about it. But so Two Girls, One Cup comes out. I have this Kermit the Frog puppet. And I was like, I'm going to do Kermit watching Two Girls, One Cup. Because I'm like, I got to do something different. Right. I can't just watch it or whatever. So I have my roommate at the time. I go, hey, will you just like say, hey, you need to see this video. Hit play, because I'm like under my table holding up like this. And then walk out of the room, stand for a minute in the doorway, and then just leave. So, so he goes, hey, you got to check this out. And I go, oh, what is it? And he goes, you just got to see this, man. I go, all right. He walks out and I go, oh my God, oh Jesus Christ, what the, oh. And then I go, have him, Kermit kind of look around and then slide over some Lubriderm and have him just go to town on it. 6 million views in 4 days. Perez Hilton, when he was like a thing, posted it and like just Jared. And all of a sudden it's like my first thing. I mean, I just started to make videos. So all my buddies in high school were like, dude, you're fucking, here we go, dude, Hollywood. I'm like, no. This is not what I want to be known for. I don't want to. One of my buddies was like, dude, you're going to be on the Tonight Show. And Leno's going to be like, no, 2 with 1 cup. You did a video about that, didn't you? And so it starts making around. So then I bought a Ralph the Dog puppet. He was another Muppet. Remember the piano player?
Yeah.
And so I have Kermit show Ralph the Dog, 2 girls, 1 guy. He's like, you got to see this. And then I have Ralph watch the whole thing and go, I don't see what the big deal is. I'm a dog. I eat my own shit all the time. And then those got like a bunch of views. And I was like, man, this
is my thing.
Hilarious. That. And also I was like, I can't believe that original video is so popular, quote unquote, that like people watching it is like it's America's weird, dude. Right? You just don't know whatever is going to be.
You're a very good example of this. I'm going to let me pull up your credits. Because this is Adam Ray. Welcome.
First time caller, long time listener.
Have we not been trying to podcast together for 7 years?
Yes.
Has it not been 7 years?
It probably has if we went back and checked.
You and I both do the thing where like, can you podcast tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or like, do you have time today
Which
too?
is the best way though.
Both of us always do that. I'm always like, Which is the best way because then it's, I don't know, but we always knew it was going to happen and also timing's everything. And this, No, I met you right when I moved to LA. Like you were one of the first people I met.
Yeah. I remember that.
I'm one of the cool people because there were so many people when I first moved here that were like, it felt so different than New York, like, which is now I don't really see it that much, but it is. I was just like, where am I? Like, I was not didn't understand Hollywood.
1,000%. And being new to any city is an adjustment, and you're starting over in a sense.
And I tease like I'm like a good ball buster, and that's just all we did. That was like our currency in New York. Like, it was like just like hurt each other.
Oh, it's an acquired skill set.
And then I came here, and people's feelings were hurt, and I was like, what? I was like, I don't like know how to communicate other than this.
This is my way to do.
This is like, I've been like straight just 4 years of doing this all fucking day with all of my friends. And
you're also fighting through a filter of LA of people, that might not have grown up in the ball busting era or community. So then sometimes though, the conversations though can start to feel fake because you're like, oh, I think you just want to get to know me and not maybe make jokes right out of the gate, which is my way of becoming comfortable. But now I'm also seeing that you're like, asking questions that only pertain to the business. So in actuality, this is backfiring. You should have just made jokes when I made jokes because now you kind of squash any sort of awkwardness.
But the thing is,
did that make sense? That sounded better in my head.
I was fine with. I always did like the work conversation. Like I would love to be talking
shop. Yeah.
So what are you? Are you filming something? Like it's fun. Like I'm like, what's everybody working on? What's everyone doing? I never was like against that.
Yeah.
But okay, so I just want to just show you guys how Hollywood works. Because I know Adam a long time, and you were doing it. How long have you been doing comedy? I moved here like 2012. How long?
2007. I'm coming up on 17 years.
You were already like working.
When did you move here?
2012.
Yeah, so about 5 years.
You were doing well.
I've done a few things, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna read the movies right now. Okay, he was in The Heat, pretty big role in The Heat. Young Rock, don't know what that is. That's a TV show you're on.
Show about The Rock's life. I played Vince McMahon for 3 years on NBC.
Congratulations. I'm so sorry. I love doing that.
Pre-cancellation.
That was great. Mad TV. Game Over Man.
Workaholics
Crossing
movie.
Swords. That's fun.
That was a Hulu. That was a dirty Hulu claymation show that the Robot Chicken guys did. Seth Green. Yeah.
Crossing Swords was that? That's what you're saying. Yes. The Bellman in 2020.
Little indie movie.
Lights Out was David Spade. I also have that credit. Love Virtually.
Yeah. Little indie movie.
Okay, American Vandal. What were you in American Vandal?
I was a cop in season 2.
Oh, this was one where they were drawing the dicks and they got in trouble?
That was the poop one.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's a great show. Shout out
Okay,
to Tony
you were in
and Dan.
Pam and Tommy. That's right.
Yep, with Jay Leno.
That was hilarious. You playing comedic icons or television icons, we should say.
Sure.
You've turned Dr. Phil into a comedic icon. Ghostbusters, he was Slimer in Ghostbusters. It says show more. I'm still going.
Yeah.
He was in Welcome to Chippendales with Kumail. Separation Anxiety with Eliza. Return of the Mac in 2017.
That was a curb style show with my buddy Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block. It was
He's also friends with like every like random person you've ever been like throughout your entire life and like I want to be friends with that person. He's friends with them.
So funny.
Joey, was he invited to the wedding?
Yes.
Wow.
He sang at my sister's
wedding. That's what you
wedding.
said to your friend. That's what you should have said to your friend. Listen, Joy McIntyre.
Yeah. Hey, man, this
Joy
is who you're
McIntyre?
up against.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy for your career.
Urkel was
but-
there. Yeah.
Spy in 2015. Jackpot in 2024.
That's
And-
a Paul Feig movie with John Cena and Aquafina that
And Paul
comes out
Feig's
in
in
July.
it?
No, he directed it.
Okay, because he's in the poster, which is weird.
Cool.
It's just weird. I've just never seen that in my life. Where the
Wow.
person who makes the movie's like in the
Wow.
poster, but let's do it.
That must be just promotional because they don't have the actual poster
But
yet.
guys, like, let's do it. Let's, If you want a behind the scenes,
Paul
put your
Feig
picture in
was an
front, let's
actor
go. He's
first.
a king. Oh,
He was a
was
stand-up. He was in Heavyweights. Do you ever see that?
Yes.
That Apatow
yes,
wrote and directed.
Yes.
And Paul actually created Freaks and Geeks and brought it to Judd, and that's
Yes.
how they
Oh,
first.
amazing.
Yeah,
I know. So funny.
yeah.
Such a good
Feig's
show.
a legend and a genius.
Have you worked with Judd Apatow before?
No, I would love to though.
Judd? He's an Anniewood.
Come on, Judd. Is he really?
I don't know.
Cool.
Maybe now. Maybe now that I
Yeah,
said it.
he will.
Manifested it.
He loves you. It
Handsome
was a Jeff Garland
2017.
movie for Netflix. Yeah.
with Garlino. Okay. She-Ra.
Shira, they brought back Shira for
I remember
Netflix, and
her.
I voiced her talking horse sidekick, Swiftwind.
But guys, he was Slimer. Is that crazy? Okay.
That was cool. Yeah.
Second act with
J-Lo.
J-Lo. How was that?
Amazing. I'll tell you a quick
How
story
much
about
were you?
that.
Yeah, tell me.
So Pete Siegel, who directed Tommy Boy, 50 First Dates, Nutty Professor, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Of course.
That dinner
Nutty
scene
Professor or
with Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
The dinner scene to me is
It is
one of the
funny
greatest
as a comic
scenes.
to say Tommy Boy and Nutty Professor and pick Nutty Professor, but I'm with you.
Well, Tommy Boy just is assumed.
Of course.
If that's not in your top 10.
It's a given. Yes.
Yeah. And so he did Fun with Dick and Jane and Fit First Dates and
Hilarious. So many
bunch of
great-
others. He's a
yeah,
great comedy
incredible.
director. So he's doing second act. I met him. The only show I've ever tested for was an MTV pilot with Ken Jeong. Didn't get it, but I met Pete. He also went to USC. We started chumming over that. We just chummed it up in the thing, and then I was like, I didn't get it, and then I was like, do you want to come do my podcast? Tommy Boy is one of my favorite movies. He tells an amazing story of the making of Tommy Boy. It's bananas how run and gun it was, writing as they're going, Farley and Spade going back and forth from
Yeah.
SNL to Toronto to shoot it. And then he goes, I'm doing this movie, a second act with J-Lo in New York. And I go, let me throw, do you have anything I could audition for? And he's like, yeah, send me this. It's a little 5-6 line thing. I go, I'll fund myself up, put myself up because I fucking.
Of course, I did that with a movie too.
Why not? I did it for
that with a
American
movie.
Vandal.
I just did that with a movie. I'm like, I will do anything.
Why
for this
not?
movie.
Why would you let the travel part get
Or
in
they
your
go,
way?
we can't hire
We
in
want a
LA.
local
I'm like,
hire.
do you know how many points I have?
Yes.
Like, I ended up flying private. I literally flew private to it. I sent a
Great
picture to the
move.
director, like, I'm private.
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. I literally, like, it all worked out.
Wait, was it a Bow Wow private situation like you were in Southwest, or was it really private?
No, I was on someone else's, like, my friend had a private jet that
And you
week.
piggybacked to go do it.
It was perfect. Oh yeah,
That's
I'm not, listen, I'm not the bottom of the piggy.
Yeah.
I'm the back when I'm on a private jet.
That's so funny. So,
We're getting there.
So then I get out there, and he adds me to 4 more scenes,
Mhm.
lets me improvise a bunch.
Incredible.
So it's a nice little like.
What's your
I'm like
role
one of
in
the
it?
scientists because the second act is J-Lo is working at like a Costco,
Mhm.
and then she ends up creating this like wait, no, is that she ends up creating like this skincare thing and pitches it to a big company,
Mhm.
and
Then
or
she
gets a
becomes, like,
job there,
rich-
and then
yeah.
she becomes like this guru, and they're trying to make this they're trying to find something big to compete with, like in a new whatever. So I'm helping make all this stuff, and so I have this first scene with her, and
Were you starstruck?
oh yeah, she walked in and
I mean, she's stunning. I
She's
can't even
gorgeous, and
imagine what
she-
she looks like in person.
and
She's short,
She's short.
so that's always surprising to me. even though
Tush
you
on
know.
point. I told Amanda it was
course.
one of the 8 wonders of the world. She didn't like that. She was like, "Why are you looking at it?" I was
Each
like,
cheek?
"You have to, yeah, each cheek." And she, so we, she goes, "Hey," he goes, "Hey, Jennifer, this is Adam." She goes, "Oh, how do you know Pete?" I go, "Oh, we used to fuck." It just came out. It's 8 a.m. I had not slept. Oh yeah, I forgot. I hadn't slept. Flew that morning, landed, went right to set, and just was so pumped. And I can't sleep on red eyes, so I'm delirious. I didn't even. Usually
Were
you
you
have a.
so nervous being tired like that? Because I'm
Yeah.
always like, I panic.
I
from
was
that,
because
yeah.
then I'm like, I have to improvise. Like I love to do that, but I'm like, I'm delirious. And usually a thought is here, and then before it gets to
Right.
here, you filter
You have
out
a
some.
moment.
It just went right like that.
That's my
I
whole
go,
life,
we used to, and then she goes like that. She goes, okay, and Pete looks
Because
at me.
they're actors, because they're not used to that.
It's also a weird joke though.
right. No,
it's
the
8
best.
a.m..
It's the best.
Okay,
It's the
I
best joke.
love where your
Number
head's
one
at.
joke. You got 5 more scenes.
I
You
go,
got
wait.
5 more scenes.
I
After that, did you have to fuck him to get the 5 scenes? He's like, listen, you said it.
So she goes, oh, and then Pete goes, oh, whoa, okay. And then I go, I'm sorry, I'm just joking. So I cover it up, and then my joke brain goes, double down. So I go, I'm just joking. And there's a beat, and I go, we still f-. And then she goes, wow. And she smiled, and I go, all right. So, and then it was fine, but she smirked, which at least was,
no, they're not. Dan Soder said the best thing to me about acting, because I was like panicking about the scene I was doing, and I was like, you know, what's your advice or whatever? He goes, comics are fuck-ups, actors are nerds.
yeah.
He goes, know every line. Do not half-ass this. Do not like.
No. Yeah.
You half-ass after you know every single thing.
You want to be prepared always.
Yeah, he's like, be so over-prepared. He's like, they are nerds. They're not like us.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was the best advice, because I would have done like a little self-sabotage thing. Where
Oh yeah, Dan's acted with Paul Giamatti, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I wish I was the woman peeing on him in that first scene.
Paul Giamatti got peed on?
Yeah, in the first scene of Billions, he gets peed on.
Haven't seen it.
I don't.
But
I,
now
I
I
honestly,
will.
I have trouble. Like,
You had me at Giamatti
I
pee.
do have trouble watching. Like, I haven't seen a lot of your stuff, because I do feel weird when my friends are acting in things.
Totally.
I have a joke about it, because I'm like, if they're a bad actor, I have to be a bad actor and be like, or I have to be a good actor and be like, you were
so good.
Oh my god, I fucking love you.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't tell the truth.
No.
Once it's done too, it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
If you have a bad, like, is there anything you've been in where you've been like, ugh,
Oh man, 5th grade, I was the Cowardly Lion in Wizard of Oz.
I see it. The coward part.
You know, it was one of my first jokes. I go, because I was a real big kid, and I go, yeah, it was the first time the lion got to Oz and asked for ice cream cake. It was one of my first jokes. Nobody laughed. And I was like, oh, that was me trying to be personal and also like make a joke. I was like, yeah, he was like, and Oz was like, don't you want courage? And he was like, no, but I'd love a chicken quesadilla. So I was a big kid. Cool, still doesn't work. But
Did you see me acting? I was doing good acting.
yeah. Johnny Depp says he doesn't watch his movies. He went on Lederman, and Dave was like, so you never seen Chocolat? He was like, I haven't seen any of my movies. You can't do anything about it now. So I was like, yeah, what a good take.
Yeah, it is. You shouldn't read review, whatever. It's like, I do think the people that are the most successful in comedy right now are people that forward move. I'm always so impressed.
Forward move.
Like, they're just like, another thing's coming out. Like,
Yeah,
why would you even have time to think about what you just posted?
1,000%.
You just keep moving.
Yeah, you
It's
got
like,
to.
who cares? Okay, so second act, The School for Good and Evil, 2020. Guys, there's so many more.
Paul Feig movie, huge with Kerry Washington and Charlize Theron. It's like it's unbelievable. And I was coming back from Australia shooting Young Rock, and he goes, I have this cool scene where you'd be this like weird old town drunk. We'll make you. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll do anything you want me to do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. We've got Gaslit, 2022.
That was a Sean Penn, Julia Roberts show about the Democratic National Convention getting broken into during the Nixon years. I played Nixon's press secretary for 3 episodes.
Okay.
Very cool.
Good on paper. You're
Met
in
Sean
Eliza.
Penn and Julia Roberts.
He's in every Eliza Schlesinger movie. Good on paper as well.
That was one line. I played a
2021.
douche.
You did?
And that was
Did you feel insulted when she cast you as that? She's
No,
like,
'cause
who's
I
the
know.
biggest dick I know? Who's the biggest dick I know?
hilarious.
That is like a funny thing to do when you're a comic, to like cast people, like kind of shade them a little bit with the casting.
Well, I played a douchey comic in Hacks, and that was like, you know, and I remember it was the first time Marin said more than 2 words to me, and he was like, oh, hey, it's the piece of shit guy on the show. And I go, oh, thanks, man. What? And he goes, oh, yeah, Hacks. He goes, that was good. You really, I go, well, you know, I've been around enough guys like you to really know how to channel the energy of a piece of shit.
Like that.
Yeah, he laughed.
He loves, the thing with Marin is he wants to be abused.
It was the first time I felt comfy to throw
Yeah.
back.
Oh.
That's
I've been
another part of
trashing
hanging
Marin.
around the Comedy Store or any club, and like you getting there and doing it right away from New York. But like, man, it's taken me a few years to get comfy in my own skin to be like, and it should. You shouldn't, like, you were already comfy in your skin, so you're like, this is how I'm gonna communicate with people and get to know people.
I'm still rebuilding bridges. It's crazy. Like, I do think I trigger in people when I tease them, like a girl who teased you in middle school.
Totally.
Like, there's also another element of like,
Were you that
asked a
girl?
I mean, I had 2 brothers.
Hilarious.
What are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, that's
what,
so funny.
What was I going to do?
By the way, you just reminded me of a time when I am doing musical comedy with Jeff Scott in the original room of the Comedy Store.
Oh, God.
And R.I.P. Jeff, miss you every day.
God,
And
Jeff.
and he goes, I was opening the OR, I had never done the music thing except for late night. And then Tommy gave me like a 10:30 spot once because he was like, I think you should do it earlier and let's see it really pop. And it was awesome.
Tommy was the best that way.
I think Tommy deserves, look, he was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Of course,
who
little
isn't,
racist. Didn't really like the Cocoa and the Cocoa Puffs, if you know what I mean. The Cocoa or the Puffs, to be honest.
Oh, so funny. And
maybe he stole a little money from this, whatever.
Yeah, we've all stolen, dude. I used to steal bread from Albertsons.
He thought we were stars, and that's the important part.
He had a method to his madness.
Yeah, he
and
really
the way
did.
that he used to tell me, he was like, you're coming from this like theater school, like you're too performy, man. Just talk to him.
Yeah.
And you know, I wasn't yet in a place to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. So I was like, trying to be open to that. And it's like, and I looked up to him and he was, you know, because he was the gatekeeper and him to go out of his way, I thought was the first step for him kind of taking being like, all right, there's something there. So it was like, he's really giving me advice. And I go, and so then the next few sets, I challenged myself to like sit on the stool, which I'd never done, and like just try to slow down a bit. And man, it worked. And then the late night spots. So opening the OR. Oh, go ahead.
Tommy, by the way, was the booker for the comedy store after Mitzi. He used to like take care of Mitzi when she was in her
on the way down days.
I was going to say, I was like, did we say diapers? Is that okay?
She might have, yeah.
We love her.
Don't know what the cross was for, but yeah,
she's Jewish.
You did it backwards. Yeah. It's not the right order. Yeah, okay. But so I'm opening the OR doing music, and I see Rogan and Eric Griffin in the back of the room. I'm doing this story because when I said you were a bully, you go, I mean, so you reminded me of this. It's so funny that even a tonal response, you just trigger this memory. So Joe's in the back. I kind of know Joe. I've seen him, been on enough lineups with him to where he's nice. A few parking lot conversations, and hadn't planned on doing the music at the beginning. I'm opening. I usually just open, get the energy going.
It's embarrassing to do music in front of Rogan.
Didn't know that. Hey.
I mean, when Rogan was in the Rogan used to give me advice on my sets. He would be like, say stuff, and I'm like, Rogan, you're in the, like, my sets. He'd be like, you seem like too nervous. I'm like, Rogan, you've never seen me do a set without you in the back of the room seeing me do a set.
Yes, 1,000%.
Sneak in sometime.
So I'd only ever do the music late night. So I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm going to do it the opening set. And the one time that he happens to be fucking sitting there, all I've known him is him around clubs. But and oh my God, you're so sweet, Randy. And so I walk back. He's sitting next to Eric. And as I get off from the OR and I walk towards the seats, the bucket seats, Joe gets up to like walk out. So it's like I'm walking towards the seats. He gets up to walk out. So a clear exit before I enter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's just like, I don't want to even see this guy.
He's like, I want him to see that he walked me, but I don't want to talk to him about how he walked me.
Oh, welcome back to Power Move Table for One, starring Joe Rogan. News Radio was a good show. This show was better. So I see that and immediately just dagger to the heart. I mean, I couldn't, depressed isn't even the right word. Because, you know, this is still, and look, I still now I'm like, yeah, I would love to be on the show. But
this is literally the reason. This is the reason. If you've never been on the show, this is the reason.
Well, but hilarious. But there was a time.
You are correct.
But there was a time. There was a time when I wanted it so bad. I think any comic, you start to. Early on, more so, but where you look at certain things where it's like Montreal or Conan or Joe Rogan or Chelsea lately, you have these little benchmarks where you go, the cool people are on these. And it's a weird like business way of being like, I'm on the right path. Right. You know, we all need mini victories and validating
Getting past at the Comedy Store, Montreal, which RIP gone.
Yeah. It was live at Gotham when it was going. That was for me. I was like, awesome. Oh man, I you know. So he leaves, and this is all building towards this similar moment where Eric Griffin sitting there because he's a homie. He didn't go anywhere. So I sit down and I go, oh, and he goes, what's up, man? And I go, did Joe Rogan just? And Joe, I forgot this, had leaned over and whispered something to Eric and then got up and left. So I sit down, I go, did Joe Rogan just say something about me singing to you? And he goes, I mean, what do you want me to say? He did kind of what you did with the bully thing where he kind of paused and was like, and I just go, fuck. And that ate at me for a bit. I'm over it now. But
I have a feeling one of your characters might get on.
I would gladly go on Rogan as Dr. Phill, but
I mean, imagine 4 hours. I think you could do it.
I actually think that might be the only way I could do it. That's a long time. And I don't know about aliens, jerky, bow and arrows, or fucking.
But Dr. Phill does. Your character does.
Oh, he knows everything.
You as Dr. Phill
I know the
is
guy
endless.
who invented the bow and arrow. So you want to talk about using it, Joe? I know Joe Bow.
Okay, let's keep
His
going
name's
with the
Joe
credits.
Bow and Arrow. You just play with him like a 4-year-old.
You know what it is? Okay, this is what I think with the. This
And
is
then
how
I feel comfy to razz him too.
As your friend, this is what's so incredible about seeing you as Dr. Phill.
Yeah.
You're such a nice guy. Okay. You get to, it unleashes something in you as Dr. Phill.
Totally.
That is so fucking wild.
Totally.
It's like so incredible.
Oh, thanks.
It's really incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, to see you go, and it's like, and I know it's you under there.
Totally.
A little bit, but sometimes you forget. You go, what the, Dr. Phill is unleashed.
It's all through my, what did Jeselnik came on and goes, I go, how do you prepare for a special? I mean, that's a tough thing to ride a whole hour, go on the road and hone it and master your craft. He goes, well, it's not that tough. I could always just do a character. And there's a beat. And I go, touche. And then I go, touche. I give him a bump. And then I go, and people laugh. And I laugh too. And I go, you're gonna make my mustache fall off, which is like a running thing I say now. And I'm like, lean into it. And I actually was not, I go, dude, this is his character. This is who he is. We talked about backstage. He was really nice and was pumped. And so I'm like, this is his character and I'm not taking it personal, but there's a little truth to that and whatever. But I appreciate the jab. But like you just said, I felt very comfy to razz back because I'm like.
Well, also, Anthony, you are. Okay,
totally. We're all a little heightened version.
But he is a little bit that off stage too. Sometimes I go.
Oh, he's very much. Yeah.
Sometimes I go. Are we?
No, he's very much. Totally.
Ooh, so, ow. I'll go, ooh, ouch.
That's why I couldn't be bugged that he was being authentic.
Right.
So, but I go, and I had a moment where I go, all right, there's, it's timing's everything. So I go, I have a beat to go, do you razz back or do you just like be more self-deprecating and then keep moving? So I go, yeah, touche. I go, well, there's not a wrong way to eat a Reese's, Anthony, because I thought about doing, jokes. But, been there, done that. I go, but good for you, And then he laughs and the crowd starts to just get it where they were like, he was ripping Adam Ray.
Dead baby jokes?
And now I just go, I could do shock value material like you do.
That is so funny.
I go, but I chose a different path.
Anthony loved it, right?
He laughed.
He loved it.
And then I gave him a bump and it was like,
he loved
it was a great moment.
Guys, stop buying hair care at the grocery store. Okay, we can't do it anymore because there's this weird section at our grocery store where they literally have a woman set up to tackle you if you try to buy any of the pharmacy products at the regular checkout. It's crazy. She literally attacks you. It's insane. So we're not doing it anyway. But the other reason we're not doing it is because we want nice, beautiful products. We want our hair to look good. We want it to look like Jennifer Aniston, the queen of hair. And this is her hair product. Okay, it's founded by her. It's called Lola V. And you're in good hands, okay? It's plant-based products that are suitable for every hair type and every texture. Repair the look of damage, tame frizz, and even shield your locks from future harm with Lola V. I have been wanting Jennifer Aniston's hair for my entire life. I've been going to every hairdresser since I was a kid, since Friends came out, and been like, please give me her hair. And they're like, we don't know what to give you. We don't know what she uses. We don't know. And now we know. We put the LOL in Lola V. They have a glossing detangler spray that detangles, enhances, shines, smooths, and protects. That one I use. I use it on my regular hair and my borrowed hair. Their Perfectin leave-in conditioner works to hydrate, fight frizz, and their lightweight hair oil is the dream for boosting shine and repairing the look of damage. Use them all together for incredible hair this summer. Unlock Jennifer Aniston approved hair at lolav.com/Annie. Loyal Anniewood listeners get 15% off your entire order when you use the code Annie at checkout. That's 15% off your order at LOLAVIE.com/Annie with the promo code Annie. One promo code per order and discounts can't be combined. Support the pod and tell them we sent you. Your hair will thank you.
And I think he respected it more.
I think the people that don't get cut at that, like that have the kind of like the persona that people are afraid to cut. I think they really like it when you jab them back. Like, totally. It's funny what you said to Marin. Marin, well, I have been on Marin. I've known Marin since I moved to LA. I opened for him a little bit. He actually got me my audition at the Comedy Store.
Oh, cool.
And I have just been, I remember like going on stage after him at that show. Remember that chick, Sam, that used to, what's her name, Sam? There's
By the way,
three.
we've been in
One's
this
a
business a
wheelchair,
while. Where
one's in a
you
wheelchair,
say,
one's
remember
in
that
an
big
arm.
girl? Well, the wheelchair girl, I have a crazy story for you. Oh man, I don't know if I should say it here
We
because
won't-
I'll
we'll cut
stir
it
it back up. But it's a great story.
We can cut it out if you want.
Oh man. You know what? It ends positively. I think I should tell it.
Yeah.
But keep going with yours first.
Wait, okay. So I did like this show. It was like an East Side show or whatever. And I just
I know what you're
went up
talking about.
afterwards.
Never did her
Yes.
show, but always wanted to. They always looked like very cool. It'd be like Kumail, Nick Rutherford, TJ, Daniel Tosh, maybe.
It's so funny, like your own success kind of kept you. You got like success some way in some way that they were like, those people didn't like. Why
Sure.
would
Maybe
you
they
not
just
have
looked at
been
me as a
booked?
club comic. I don't know.
Which is like crazy.
Which is like, don't you want?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I straddled for a while. I was able to straddle. I don't know how.
We
but
should all be able to do. Well, that's not true because there are.
I didn't do like Meltdown. Did you ever do Meltdown?
No.
They were always booked every time. I
Well,
asked.
one time, but on a later, not the Kumail. Who did you do it with?
Jonah Ray.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I did the other show.
Oh, you want my
And I went
water?
up after Mark. I'm trying to think of what I said, but it was like, I mean, I was just like, to still be talking shit on your parents. I would just make so much fun. Like just go at
You
him.
got to be, hey, hit him and hug him. That's the way that we should all be
But
doing.
it is my sign of love. It is like how I love people. It really, I know it sounds crazy, but it is. It's like,
So it is. And I mean,
I would not like talk shit to someone's face that I don't. I would talk shit behind their back if I didn't like them.
there is something to be said about building a little rapport with people first before you razz them, but also
Yeah.
no, but to each his own. Sometimes you're getting it out of the way. You're also being like, there's a wall between us. Let's knock it down.
Let's knock this wall down. But sometimes people, sometimes I poke at the exact thing they've been hiding.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is that too.
So you mentioned somebody in a wheelchair.
Yes.
I think I know the comedian you're talking about. We don't have to say her name, but we can. We don't have to, but
You'll figure it out.
she was on the
There's one.
very sweet gal in my experience. She was
Yeah.
on The Price is Right. Is this the same person?
It's definitely, by the way, it's 100% the same person
Why?
because there's one female wheelchair comedian
Okay, great. So she
and she's very nice. Yeah.
she was very nice, but I didn't know her personally. And I see this clip of her on The Price is Right, and they
Yeah.
gave her a treadmill as a prize.
No.
So that clip kind of went viral. And hey, just for those of you watching at home, one more time, she's in a wheelchair. They gave her, say it with me, a treadmill.
I will
Hey,
say,
welcome back to The Price is Wrong.
she also, by the way, it's not like she has a treadmill with like full leg, or it's not like she has a wheelchair with full legs either. We're talking about the same person.
I actually don't know.
They go to the knee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes this story worse. Okay. So either way,
There's no feet involved.
there's no feet. She's in a wheelchair.
The feet are gone.
And so I see this clip, and I didn't know she was a comedian. I did not know. I didn't know. I see a clip. I don't see someone on a game show and go, they probably have
Some
a
credits.
side hustle
Yeah.
that involves being on stage and trying to follow in Carrot Top's footsteps. So I see this clip. I go to the store that night in the main room, and I write this joke about, how f***ed up that is.
Yeah.
And I go, you guys, yeah, they gave her a treadmill. And everyone's like, oh, and laughing, but also groaning. I go, you should laugh. She laughed too. She rolled with it, or she went with it. And then stupid. And then people laugh. And then I go, that cannot happen. The Price is Right. That cannot happen. The Price is Right. It's supposed to be the right price and the right prize.
Yeah.
Somebody back there has to call Prize Audible and earn their pay and step up and mix it up. You got to just like get something else out there to avoid that moment for her and the audience watching at home. I go, I don't care what it is. Like, tell her what you win,
Also,
Drew.
they pick them.
Yes. So I go, I don't care what it is.
You pulled it out of a hat.
No,
You pick them.
You know what's coming. So I go, it could be like, hey, tell her what she wins, Drew. And then I go, I'll push her to the park and eat her out. I go, anything is better than what you did. And then I go, what do you want us to do, man? We got 82 Nordic tracks back here. We got to start pushing these things. So it's really a joke about The Price is Right.
Right.
Up.
Nothing to do with her, yeah.
I'm not making fun of her.
Of course.
Now, a friend of hers is in the back of the main room.
Of course, it's the first moment you're told the joke.
So yes, the first time, friend of hers in the back. And to be honest, it was also like in an edgier department of comedy where I was kind of being like, well, this isn't usually how I talk or even like joke, but I was like, it sounded funny and I feel like my intentions are right. I'm not making fun of her. I'm making fun of what happened. Truly. So later on Twitter, about an hour, I get home, I get a tweet from her. Hey, heard you were making fun of me at the Comedy Store. If you want to eat me out, why don't you just like take me out first instead of joking about it at the Comedy Store in front of all these people, you dick.
Wait, this is just her flirting with you.
No, I think it was pretty, there were no smiley faces or emojis. So I'm immediately, again, feel like I'm a pretty nice person to most people. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? Getting accused of something you don't stand for or whatever is really crippling. So I'm like, immediately like, whoa, wait, what? And then she's like, yeah, and then all of a sudden there was just an onslaught of people that were almost like waiting to be like, I knew he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And now it's always people being like, he did what to you? What a dick, Adam Ray fuck. And I'm just like, oh God, what is happening? It was just nonstop.
So
like
nice.
60.
You're so nice.
It ripped me. Annie, ripped
nice.
me. I was
it's
so
like a
sad.
Scenario. It's a worst case. Well, there could be worse.
And now
she could have been like, without consent.
Totally. He fucking hit me up. He pushed me to the top of a hill. He let me roll down on my own and then made me suck his dick, And so he made me, he made me actually sit on a skateboard while he sat in my chair. And so, no. So then I just hit her up directly and I go, hey, like, I did not make fun of you. I'm really sorry that I offended, whatever, just being very apologetic, being like, my intentions were not that. And how did you even, were you there? She goes, no, a friend of mine was there and told me. I go, cool. Definitely not what I said. It's all getting taken out of context. Here's what the joke was. And then she goes, and by the way, hours in between responding. So I'm just like, And
this is all public tweets?
Yep. Well, no. These are DMs now, okay. But everything else was private. And I go, hey, if you were really pissed, I go, why didn't you hit me up directly? I go, this is now suspicious on my end of like you blasting me publicly. I don't know what you're trying to get out of this, but it sucks because maybe ask around and see if I am a piece of shit before you do this. And she goes, I have asked around. Most people say you're pretty cool. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still stand by she was hitting on you.
So then I go, can you take that down, please? And she goes, sure, I'm on a flight, but whatever. And then
always on a flight.
Always on a flight. Yeah. No Wi-Fi. Sorry, it's Spirit.
Never. I've never not had my internet on the flight.
I remember Jeff died once.
I'll lend you $20 by the internet.
By the way, the whole I'm on a flight or I'm on a phone. Jeff died. I texted him once on a Thursday. God bless him. And he texted me on Tuesday and goes, sorry, I was in Portland. And I go, this is the funniest exchange I've ever had. Oh, you didn't have your phone on you in a different state? Anyway, so then I go, you know what? We squash it more or less. I go, why don't you come on my podcast? And then COVID hit over Zoom and we'll just talk about this and shed some light on whatever. And we did, and it was all fine and dandy. That's why I'm even comfy to tell that story now. So she understood. I go, it's important to me that that we have any conversation so that you can see that I wasn't trying to make you feel bad or whatever it was. I just needed that.
She was hit by a train.
Yeah, she told that whole story.
She was hit by a train.
Yeah, wild.
What's amazing is you did Zoom, so you didn't know
that she had
She lost beneath the knees.
Great movie title.
Beneath the knees.
Is it a Harrison Ford movie?
Above the knees is the.
Oh, beneath the knees.
That's Harrison.
That's Harrison? He's like.
No, she's cool. I like people that have had that type of trauma. They're.
You like trauma is what you're going to say.
I love. Well,
everyone's got something.
It's pretty good. One of my favorite. When I first saw Dr. Phill, you dressed as Dr. Phill, which is what we're getting to.
Okay.
There's so many more credits. It's so crazy, you guys.
Oh my God.
My whole point is like, there's so many more
I've never had
credits.
somebody do this. You're reminding me of things I don't remember doing.
Yeah, okay. Let's just actually keep going with this. And then we'll talk about
because it is actually prompting. To just sit here and have you read it feels very douchey.
I wish I was going less. No,
but I've had stories along the way. So I think it's
douchey because you really are so successful. You're very talented.
It's all relative.
And my whole point is nobody knew who the f you were, Adam. Your fan base, you had a fan base. You were at a level.
My mom's Temple friends knew.
You were at a level, okay, for a long time. And it was I was baffled. I never understood.
What do you mean?
You're such a good comic. You're a cool guy. You have all these credits. And you're like, sometimes it's just like, what's the thing that's going to just push you?
Sure.
You know?
And that's a part of like half the battle that again, if I tell any young comic who blows me up for advice, hey man, stick it out.
Yeah, just stick it out.
You just
have fun. Also, enjoy what you're doing.
Enjoy the process of getting better. I say a lot. I go, be kind, write all the time, get on stage. Those bullshit
I've never told someone to
cliches.
be kind, but that is the good advice. Guys,
Oh man, I say that all the time because that goes a long way. Like
guys, I have to bring
doubt.
bricks with me to just rebuild. I'm always rebuilding.
That's really funny.
I'm just always laying bricks. It takes up so much time.
Yeah, but you're really
bricks.
affable, and you're likable. Like that's the same
I
thing.
also do like all the people that I'm with.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then I think it is funny sometimes. Like there was a comic. We're not going to mention him because there's been many scandals with him. But there was a comic that I never spoke to. I never gave any attention to. And then I liked one of his specials. And I remember when I went up to him and I told him I liked the special. I was like, oh my god. It meant more. I could tell it meant more because I had never given him a.
Yeah.
He was so moved by it.
Oh yeah.
And it was like it was very funny.
Just
I was
insecure
like,
people, man.
I know, and
but
I
pretty
think
secure too. I mean, like we're like that's the thing too. It's like, and then when people try to put it on comedians, like you guys are just like sad and insecure. It's like, well, I'm a person, so you are too. Actually,
I think
we all are.
Exactly.
It's human nature to be insecure at some point.
Are you bringing back like a little kind of like a tilt to the side with the hat?
I don't know. I actually, this is bad. I don't like having, this is fine because I actually chose to tuck in my shirt, which is a weird choice. I am 41. I'm dressing like 40. I'm 49. So like the tucked in shirt.
You're not, you're dressing young.
Really?
Which maybe it's 49 to dress young. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you dress 49.
I think the tucked in shirt, I don't mind it, but like I did it. It was untucked for the pod before this. And I tucked it in and I go, I actually like that. Amanda's like, dude, you're aging yourself up.
How much younger is Amanda than you?
She's about to be 29. I'm 41.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 40. He's turning 30. So.
Yeah, fine.
That's what's up.
It is what's up.
That's what's up.
We're waiting on kids for a bit. We might not even do it.
Yeah. No, that's how we are. We're undecided. We have
we're back and forth, man.
We have frozen embryos. We're like safe, you know?
Oh, yeah, you can get an embryo tonight if you want. Argus Hamilton doesn't have embryos in his car.
That's what's in his like briefcase he brings.
Oh!
No, I always say I'm going to keep my embryos, or I'm either going to use them.
You do always say that.
I'm either going to use them, or I'm going to give them to Josh Potter for his eye, the stem cells.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
I almost like made him the because you have to like say who you're going to give your embryos to.
On a sheet?
Yeah, you have to like fill a whole thing out.
So you put down Josh.
I said a gay couple. I want a gay couple to get my.
What if that was the only way Josh could get your embryo is to find a male partner?
And then he
shows up to the lab and they're like, congrats.
And
they go, you also have to drink this vial of cum from a man. He's like, so that's the gay part? Oh yeah, you don't have to fuck anybody. You have to just do this gay dare, which is a great name for a movie too.
Gay Dare.
Gay Dare is actually the follow-up to Beneath the Knees.
Yeah, Beneath the Knees.
Harrison's
Above
in
the
both.
Knees is a prequel.
Actually, you know what? Harrison doesn't do the sequel. He was too expensive. He was also like, the first one wasn't that good. I don't do Harrison Ford impressions.
Okay. Good on paper. Trolls.
Trolls. Yeah, he did some parts in, that Trolls show.
He was on Trolls. Okay. Paperback Hero. That was 1999.
I don't know what that is. I think that's a made up credit.
Okay. Doug.
That's like when you say you were on VH1 and you you weren't.
Oh.
People do that for a long time.
As a joke once.
She's on MTV Comedy Central? Oh, really? Yeah, I went to a taping once.
Someone was like, she was on Ellen. I was like, can you not say it? Like
funny.
But remember Ellen had Amy Schumer on doing stand-up once. Yeah? She used to have like people do like 3 minutes of material.
Totally.
Okay, Doug Unplugs.
That's an Apple TV, hilarious. That's an Apple TV children's animated show.
Me, Myself, I. No?
Maybe a short. I think a short, yeah.
Okay. That was 1999.
Okay.
Were you acting in 1999?
No, I was in high school.
Okay, so there's some that are.
Don't know what the that
Road?
is. Nope.
2016?
Nope.
Stand Up for Pits. That's so funny they made that.
That's so funny.
That's actually with Rebecca Corey.
With Rebecca Corey. Shout out.
Good girl, getting up in there. Okay, these are 1999. So there's another Adam Ray that's trying to steal. What about Innocence?
Nope. Okay. What else?
The Jesters?
Nope. Now what are you reading? There should be like Curb or Arrested Development or like.
I like this pick. You look like Hassan Minaj in this.
Oh my God.
This is like, is this Hassan Minaj?
Oh my God.
Are you spray tan in this?
I know, that's regular.
This is Hassan.
I tan easy, but then it goes away easy.
Motherfucking Minaj up in this bitch.
Oh my God.
Are you friends with Hassan?
Yeah.
My favorite Hassan story. Hassan, this is my favorite Hassan story. You might have been there.
Okay.
We're at the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
Steve Wozniak's there.
From Apple.
From Apple. He's in the back. And I would not recognize him. He looks like Jerry Garcia. He's like, I'm like,
that's a cool celebrity sighting, by the way.
Okay, it's amazing. So he's on stage. Hassan's like, sees him, is like doing crowd work with him and stuff. He's there with his wife. we're like, at the end of the show, we're like, we have to see what kind of car he drives.
Great question.
We go outside, he and his wife put on bike helmets and they ride segways into the sun, into the sunset.
And guess what? We haven't seen him since until now. Steve Wozniak, come on out.
Can you believe it?
I thought you were going to say he fucking grabbed the balloon and floated into the sky like Gonzo from the Great Muppet Caper.
It was literally the most amazing. It was his and her Segway scooters.
That's really adorable, first of all, and really wild, but also duh. You know what I'm saying? There was no chance he was getting into an automobile.
It was, yeah, unless something like lifted him up and like, it was like,
what if just a giant man like carried him down the street? On Segways. Those are dangerous in LA too.
They're actually very dangerous.
The amount of bird scooter accidents, a friend of mine and his wife.
Oh,
who?
Remember Abby, the guy from the Comedy Store?
Roberge.
Yeah, he was.
Did he get fucked up from a bird scooter?
He had a broken arm. And then I go, you don't have health insurance. He goes, no.
Yikes.
At that time.
Falling off a bird scooter is embarrassing.
It's the most unhealth insurance thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's a really sad way. Like, what a sad way. I remember when I went to Australia and was feeding some kangaroos, and one of them stood up. Like this fucking bouncing Schwarzenegger just stood up. He's jacked. I go to the guy, I go, hey, so do they do dips starting at 8 a.m. and then they just do them all day? Why does he have so much shoulder definition? And he stood up and he looked at me and he started to like waddle towards me.
They will win the fight.
And the guy goes, oh, they're all older kangaroos. I go, oh, so it's like a 75-year-old man just body checking me in a game of pickup at 24 Hour Fitness. And he goes, they're so old, you're going to be fine. But he walked towards me and I literally for a moment, because of that video where the kangaroo like was, choking that dog out, I go, if this kangaroo comes at me and does a kick or anything, and that's my story, like what a bummer. And I started to try to like, as I'm telling a buddy of mine, we started kind of, adding tags or whatever. And we were saying this thing about like being at the funeral, and if you died in a funny way, no one can hold back from making jokes.
Of course.
And you would hope they do that anyway.
Of course.
But he was like, so we were coming with all these puns where people would be like, dude, he was a good guy, man. And like, it's just, he was in that coma for weeks. And like, we all thought he was going to bounce back, but he didn't, it was just a bunch of things like that. It was like, you would expect people would do those. But then it went down a rabbit hole of like all the weird, funny ways to die and getting beaten up by a kangaroo. No one can talk about you with a straight face.
Yeah.
Because they're just like,
no, it's
what happened again?
No, I do a joke about it. These girls that like died in an escape room. It's like that's so embarrassing for your parents.
Oh yeah,
for your parents. Explain that.
Speaking of embarrassing for your parents, Girls Gone Wild.
Ooh, I think about that in my MySpace. Speaking of MySpace, in my little description, you could write stuff. I wrote. They said heroes. Remember they say who are your heroes?
Yeah.
I go the fathers of girls who were in Girls Gone Wild.
Dude, where's the where are they now on those guys?
They're probably dead. We're old.
Do you think any of those dads?
Hilton, do you think these people know the fuck we're talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
Wait a second. I need to actually do a whole episode of Dr. Phill and bring all the girls. Like, where are they now?
They were so drunk when they signed those things. It's so.
If they even signed them.
I mean, it's so embarrassing.
They thought it was like their 15 minutes of fame.
This is so incredible. Where is Girls Gone Wild at this point?
And VHS is being sent out. I mean, that guy, what a creep, by the way. I mean,
so bad.
And was probably banging a lot of those girls.
Well, he was the one that did the Paris Hilton sex tape too, I think.
No way.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, no, he had the documentary come out, The Most Hated Man in America.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah,
I need to watch that.
I want to keep.
I have a few more thoughts on that.
Few,
okay.
And I just need.
We can wrap up and finish the pod.
I have to actually do a couple more credits.
Yeah.
Barbie.
It is
Barbie.
Barbie.
And
yeah.
your Barbie. Todd and I have watched that video of you on morning television talking about when you saw Ryan Gosling for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of the funniest moments on television I've ever seen in my life.
You're so sweet.
That is literally.
What did I say? I don't even remember what you're talking about.
What did he say? Because Todd's like, you have to see this clip. You have to see this.
Something about like.
You were like, I will give you a hand job. Like it was something like.
Oh, yeah. He was as gorgeous as you think. I don't think he blinked the 4 minutes I talked to him. I asked if we could take a picture because I was like, I'm not going to act like I'm going to see him again.
Yeah.
And then I go, cool, man, I'm going to use this as the cover for my special. And he goes, whoa. Don't do that, man. And I go, haha, oops, joke didn't land. And he goes, I guess we're just getting to know each other. And I go, no, I'm definitely not going to do that. He goes, these outfits, they haven't even posted them online. They can't be out yet. And I go, dude, was totally joking. You got my word. Won't be on the gram for at least a couple months. And he goes, dude, you can't. I go, doubled down, made another bad joke. I go, you're super hot, so this is all pretty distracting for me. And and Margot Robbie, nicest person ever. So Allison Jones.
I love Allison Jones so much.
You got in for her. Of course you have.
Oh my God, Allison Jones.
Look her up if you don't know who we're talking about. She cast The Office, Curb, Veep, all the Apatow, all the Paul Feig movies.
She's the best. She's
a
so
legend.
Cool. She makes you so comfortable. It's so fun to audition for her.
She.
I love her so much.
Just hit me up. She goes, "Do you want to play this cop in Barbie?" The only thing I've been given, and I go, "Yeah." I go, "Does it have any lines?" She goes, "Yeah, about 6." I go, "Cool." It was they let us improvise a bunch.
Oh my gosh.
Me and the other cop who knew Greta Gerwig from college, and Noah Baumbach, her husband, who wrote it, who's a great writer.
I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, what a power couple. And
amazing.
And we were improvising a bunch, and Gosling at one point looks up and goes, just claps. It was on our coverage, and him and Margot Robbie we're just making them laugh so hard, which is a feeling I'll never forget and always come to. And he laughed at one point. It was like the way you see him break on SNL all the time was laughing. And I'm just like trying to not separate. I'm just like doing what I'm doing.
Still in it,
and I'm watching them just laugh. And all I can think is, I'm making them laugh. I'm making them laugh.
Yeah.
And then he just goes like this. And he goes, if that's not the trailer, I'm quitting the movie. And and me and the other cop were like, yeah. And then I go, and then I scream in front of all the crew. I go, Ryan, you got a lot of pool. Don't let that just be lip service, man. Make that happen.
No,
and nobody.
It got desperate.
It got real desperate. And then he kind of was just looking at me like, dude, speak when spoken to, rando.
But also what I like about your story, about your joke about putting it online, like the pressure they're under, like if they leak one thing.
Yeah. And they also want it. And that's his thing, man. He should be the first one to post a Ken anything.
No, I know, but still, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously you're kidding, but they're not, they don't have people like doing that to them.
No. And that scene was supposed to be about 3.5 minutes. The sound guy hit me up on Instagram and he was like, dude, super funny. They have like 9 versions of the scene, some filthier, some cleaner. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then I'm going to post them in the movie because it sounds like most of it's in. And then we go see it. And I talked about this on stage and we're sitting there, my wife and a couple other homies going to midnight screening and real pumped. And,
it's so
and then I just see it and I pop a screen and I go, here we go. 2 seconds go by and I go, and there it was. and one of my boys leans over and goes, is that it? I go, yeah. He goes, do you want to leave? And I go, no, let's take it out, man. But then it was just like, well, at least you could see my face for a second to where it was like, oh man,
Barry Rothbard has the worst. That was the worst thing that ever happened.
He got cut out of Barbie?
No, he got cut out of Wolf of Wall Street. He was like in it. Like he was like in it.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Like, and so like enough where he was like very comfortable talking about it.
Oh God.
And then you just see him like in one scene in the background, like
what if they even cut? What if they even cut before his hand went all the way up?
No,
like he didn't even let me get a full raised hand.
That's
That's why you also can't talk before the chicken's hatch or the popcorn's ready, whatever the fucking saying is.
I have a really small part in a movie that's coming up.
You're gonna jinx it.
Right. No,
They're
but I'm friends with the director, and I'm like.
Oh, you're always trying to be like, don't cut my part.
Hey.
Yeah.
But you like put it in their head to cut the part.
Yeah.
And also, it's like a nonsense. It's like I'm nothing.
Congrats, though. That's very cool.
But I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
Did you guys watch Barbie? It was a good movie.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it
I thought it was very
he
entertaining.
Didn't see it. Todd doesn't like girls.
You like women, huh?
He doesn't like supporting.
I mean, look, it's if you want to, yeah, it's definitely more of a. I don't say it's for women because it's, it is weird when people are like for you just to be like, I don't want to see it. It's fine because it's like comedy. It's all subjective, but to like watch it and be like, I mean, some of the low bottom of the barrel comments of like it's gay or which is a wild take, and then but it's like you don't have to get it or maybe whatever, but or you can say I don't like it because again, it's all
it's whatever.
Yeah, but to be like it was to this and that, it's like I mean you just missed it, I guess. I don't know. Some of those monologues are pretty. America Ferrera's monologue about like women, it was great. You're just like,
so good.
And also, a movie should be different and entertaining. That's how I assess anything. I go, was it entertaining? Yeah. Kate McKinnon was hilarious. Ryan Gosling was so funny. I thought, what a weird character to play.
It was,
and
so good.
What was cool about that for him too? You go like, man, and Margot Robbie too. They're so versatile. I thought I, Tonya is like one of the coolest movies I've seen.
Was really good.
And she was so good. So you're like, you're playing. You guys are true actors, man. Where you can just like be other people, even though you still see them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Jim Carrey's good at that too. Or
you worked with him, Jim Carrey?
No, but I met him at the store.
When
met
he
him.
was casting that show.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That guy for me I didn't realize I was so taken aback. You know, being a bigger kid, when I went from fat kid to funny kid, I was making people laugh. And one of the ways would be like on the bus, I would memorize chunks from Ace Ventura and recite them on the bus to my friends because we all loved the movie. And I was just like, oh, I want to make them laugh. And then people that were teasing me were like, oh, Adam's funny. So I was like, oh, cool. They're not making fun of me and I'm making them laugh and I feel good about myself. So this is the best. But I still need to borrow their mom's bra. And then, so then Jim, I never met him, and he walks through the kitchen, and Adam, he gets taken him up to roast battle, and I didn't know he was even going to be there.
Right.
So I'm staying at the bar, and all of a sudden he walks in, and I just see him walk in, and it was just like an aura. I even must have like turned around, and I was like, "Who's here? Is it fucking Tony Robbins?" Or I was trying to think of somebody else with a big personality, and so. So Jim walks in, and I just like look at him, and Adam goes, "Hey, Adam, this is Jim," and I go, and Jim just goes, "Hey, man," just really sweet, and I just went, and I didn't say anything back, and I was like, I remember I think it was Rob, the bartender. He goes, "Well, that was you'll never forget that," and I was like, "Wow, what the?" And then I had like this weird chill come over me, and then I just, which was and then I walked through the bar and I go to my car and I was like, I'm going to go. I just felt so weird. And it was a really overwhelming, and you know, I've been around some cool people. I still get starstruck. Why wouldn't you?
It's so cool.
Meeting Quentin Tarantino at the store. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Night, and I was like, Adam, I was like, I am going to jump in.
I'm glad you did.
You know what you're so good at, by the way?
What's that?
Not letting me there's been times where I've been like ready to just jump in on you and you're like, I can see you can look over. You're good. Like you'll be holding court with like, I can tell it's important people. And I'll
or
just
even
be
homies, yeah. You're good. You read the room.
But it's fun. I try. I'm like, and then I was like, walk out. But you're the only one that's good at that. Everyone else lets me just trample all over them.
Wow, yeah.
You have like a good boundary. Where you're like,
that was awesome.
But with Quentin Tarantino, I was like,
I'm glad you did.
So then I went up to him and I was like, you were on the like outside of the gate, and he was.
Somebody had brought like a snack box, and they went to give it to him, and then he was like, "Will you hold it for me?" I've never done a Quentin Tarantino. Don't judge that impression. And then I held it for him, and then at the end of the night, I was like, "Dude, you don't want to." He's like, "You can have it," and I go, "You tell me you don't want to go home, spark one up, and rummage through this fucking snack box?" And he was like, "Maybe I won't do that." And he took it, but that was fun that we all got to chit chat during the show. Somebody laughed weird. They went, and I go, Jesus Christ. I go, who the fuck was that? And then I go, who was that? I go, what face is attached to that cackle? And nobody says anything. Emily LaFord comes up to me, who books the store, and she goes, hey, that guy you made fun of with the laugh was Quentin Tarantino. And I go, oh, that's why he didn't speak up and say who he was.
Because that would have been insane. Everyone were like, what?
And then I went up to him and was like, dude, I'm so sorry I busted your. He's like,
no. But this is where you get this because I did the same thing. I would go, are you mad at me? I was like, that would suck if you're mad at because I had this whole other night with him there once. And then he was like, and then he told me some like backstory or whatever about what I said. And then he's never seen me perform. I was like, I can't wait for you to see me. He's like, I can't wait to see you perform. And like, it's like I have like a good thing with him now. But the time before he had been like, he looked at me, he goes, if you can get me weed, I will be your friend.
Cool.
Okay. And I go, okay, so I'm like, someone gives me like a nugget of weed. So I just go, Quinty, put your hand out. And he like puts his hand out and just put a nugget down. He goes, with nothing to smoke it. You didn't qualify.
Yeah.
I slept with your friend.
Yeah, you gotta ask.
It was so fun. He picked up my hoop too, like my hoop fell, and it was like,
what a sweetheart.
And he picked it up and handed it to me, and I was like, wow, it's like the king of all. We'll bleep this out. The king of all is like handing.
Why would you bleep that out?
The word, just the word.
Really? Is it?
I think you can't really say it.
Yeah, because it's too close.
It rhymes.
But guess what? There was a time.
But it is a genre of people that like you don't.
Do you know the amount of white dudes that think they're black that I know from high school?
Do you know Chet Hanks? We're trying to get him on the show.
So let me finish this Jim Carrey story.
Yes, please.
Even though, by the way, from Chet Hanks to Jim Carrey will be the name of my memoir.
By the way, and I'm telling you, probably more starstruck by Chet Hanks myself.
Sounds like a personal problem, but why? And so I get my car. He ends up sticking around. Theo was like, "Yeah, man, he told stories about raccoons all night," or and he was like, "It was great. You missed out, man." And I was like, "Dude," but I was like, "Actually, I'm glad I'm not there." And it like affected me. And the next day, I was like, "Why was I so?" And then I tracked it back, and I go, "Man, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber is my favorite movie of all time, drama or comedy." And Ace Ventura truly was like what got me. What was so pivotal for me to that I loved, but then again, like I said, like had contributed to this shift of me not being teased anymore and being accepted, whatever, but like kind of defining who I was, what I was going to do without really knowing it. And I put that all together and was like, oh, that's why I couldn't speak. Isn't that wild? Kind of deep. I haven't been to therapy, but that was my therapy way of dissecting where I was like, he's the reason.
Yes.
I mean, look, Eddie Murphy, Sandler, all these guys I love.
They shift your entire life.
But me starting to do that like was, and you know, other goofy shit, but like that started to make people be like, dude, that would tease me. We're like, do the Ace Ventura thing. So then it was like, oh, now they're not making fun of me because they want me to. So I put that all together days later, but like, what a wild thing.
I wish he had looked at you and just gone, hey, fat ass. Like, he just like known. I wish he had just like known, like just had an instinct.
You're funny, Eddie. What a good way to tag that. Yeah, he goes, yeah. He goes, oh, you having a fluctuation week or?
That Dumb and Dumber scene with the snow, when he's like, just like shoving her face, is one of the funniest things. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Or, I mean, there's so many
lines.
So
abusive, like so abusive.
We could spend the next 9 hours, but like, I mean, dude, when they're freezing and he's like, here, put on these extra pair of gloves. He goes, you've had an extra pair of gloves this whole time? He goes, yeah, we're in the Rockies. I mean, oh my God. Like so many throwaways. Like they're in the tub. What happened here? Some little Philly break your heart? Yes. He says the name of her and he's like, and he goes, from Crampton? And he goes, yeah, you remember? He goes, yeah. I mean, I remember you talking about her. And then he clearly banged her. And then he goes, what, did she give you a reason why she left? No, I mean, she just some John Deere letter out of the blue, just something about me not listening to her ever. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, but anyway, sorry. I'm getting an asshole. I could do that shit all day.
I want to say you had all these credits. You've always been a great stand-up.
Thanks.
And then Dr. Phill is now throwing you into the stratosphere, which is incredible.
Give me a nice little bump.
But the Dr. Phill thing is so funny. How long does it take you to get into that?
About 2 hours to get into the makeup. About 20 minutes to get out of it. It's a commitment, man.
It is crazy.
I fly her to Austin. She's going to come with me on the road to do these shows in Portland and Seattle. And now I just had this meeting with my team, and we're going to add a bunch of theater shows and try it out, man. It's helped to sell a lot of tickets on the road, which is way cooler. It's really fun. Why I started doing it was I was getting into a very monotonous point of just like podcasts, stand-up, boys, all fun stuff. But like auditioning and not getting stuff and being like, why am I waiting for somebody to put me in shit? And I've always been self-sufficient. And I go, when was I the happiest? Well, in 2006, when I was making, whether it was a Kermit jerking off to Jerusalem Cup video.
There was this moment of two girls.
Well, I wanted to like get back to like making, like creating from the ground up and being collaborative and just like finding something that was, my own. And just, that was when I was happiest. So, and I was doing these Adam Ray and Friends shows at the store. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, man, I'm tired of doing even that. It's just I just doing I need more. And Burr was confirmed to do one of the shows, and so I was like, all right, I know I have Burr for the show, so that's a good. I go, Bill, I'm thinking about maybe doing like a Dr. Phil live show. I don't know what it looks like, but I come out, I do a monologue, I do some crowd work, then we chat. Jeremiah will do a character, and he couldn't have been faster to be like, buddy. Yes, dude, I fucking love it. That's hilarious. Make fun of my anger issues. Yeah. He goes up and I was like, oh, him being enthusiastic got me even more excited.
Yeah.
And so then we did it and it was really fun. Put it on YouTube. It popped off, I think, a mil in a couple weeks. And then he wanted to do it again. And then I was like, well, cool. Let me now like do what we should be doing, which is like, if you aren't a piece of shit and you've made some cool friendships and those people are people that people want to see, like start trying to ask them to do it. And it's always different. And it's flexing all my muscles as far as like podcasting and improv and character shit and putting a show together. And the fact that people dig it is, you never know what anyone's going to be into.
It's so funny. Yeah. That Kill Tony was so crazy. And then I've seen other clips on other Kill Tonys that are, because you can get away with saying the craziest thing.
Oh, we had Brian Simpson and Harland on at the Mothership that's going to come out on May 28th. They're all on YouTube if you want to see them. And Brian Simpson at one point was like, he said something about, we were talking about rap, and I go, yeah, rap, but people say a lot of crazy stuff. Like, I wouldn't repeat most lyrics. And he goes, you can say the N-word right now, Doc. And I go, well, I'll probably do it in the car with my friends on the drive home, but I don't want to do it here. It'll be rude, And so even just like saying that, like, got a big laugh. But I'm like,
Cam Patterson thing when he was like, you have like something on your neck, and you're like, are you trying to distract from?
Are you trying to steal my wallet?
Oh, it's just so good.
Oh yeah. And then he goes, and then I said, he goes, I'm not trying to steal your wallet. I go, that's fine. I go, but if you're here, who's selling candy bars outside of Target for their baseball team? Yeah, so there is like he's just known enough for being a little abrasive.
Yeah.
And advice, which is a funny thing. So I'm always trying to balance that out. Where there was I think even on that forum show, somebody said something about their dad or something, and I go, and why though? Why? Like always finding moments to still interject him wanting to help.
Yeah.
I think helps to balance.
I saw him on Celebrity Family Feud.
Who?
Dr. Phill.
My God, I gotta watch that.
It was him and his wife was like on pills or something. It was like
episodes.
very crazy. It's like his wife is like that's like a
Robin. Well, she's got some medications that probably need to be checked.
Now,
I myself am on Plan B gummies,
and he knows about this.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get him on at some point.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be.
He is. Oh shit! Wait, can I just call my wife real quick?
Yeah.
And put her on. I'm late to meeting her for at the mall for we have to. Hey babe, I'm here on the podcast with Annie. Still, we were singing your praises.
Aw, that's so sweet. Hey Annie.
Babe, I'm so late. We're wrapping up right now.
It's so hard to stop talking.
So I'll meet you there in probably 15 minutes. Okay.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Take your time.
All right, love you, babe.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay.
We could talk for hours.
I will say, this is what I was going to say. The first time I saw you as Dr. Phill.
Oh, yeah.
Whitney Cummings.
You got to come on, by the way.
I would love to do
you'd
it.
murder.
I'm such a fan of the
people that are down to play, like you, Burr.
Oh, my God.
I
can't wait.
Yeah.
No, but, oh, my God, Whitney must have been really fun. But Whitney, over the pandemic, by the way, she made my life. I mean, Whitney made my life.
Why?
The pandemic. It was so fun.
Oh, all her backyard shows.
Oh, my God, it was the most fun thing in the entire world. So she puts on these, she's like, none of us have done comedy. Let's just put on these backdoor shows.
So she had people get tested. Yeah.
And she had to get tested. She had these random people, it would be so crazy.
It was like her, Natasha Bedingfield.
Yes, it was always like so weird. It would be little Esther.
Bobby.
There'd be just like
Kevin Christie, the ShamWow guy.
The H3, what's her name?
H3 podcast.
Hila was there. It was just like so many random people, but
I know what you're talking
crazy.
about.
I'm like, oh my God. There's people who do like hats where like, I know you're famous. The hat is like a famous person hat, but you've got a mask on. I don't know who you are.
Hilarious. And I went once.
You went once and he was dressed as Dr. Phill, but he was being himself. And you were talking about some like dark stuff.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you're bringing this up just for my own
it was
reminiscing about, but this is also very funny. So, okay.
You're being dead serious.
All right, I'm probably not going to meet her tonight, but so...
you saying 15 minutes was the biggest lie I've ever seen in my entire life, by the way.
Yeah,
even 15 minutes, like walk from here down to your car is 15
How far is
minutes.
Century City from here?
It's like very close.
Awesome. I honestly thought it was farther, but I was trying to be optimistic.
We're adding 10.
So real quick, and we'll wrap this up. I think, you know why I keep tilting my hat is because in the corner, and this is, I know the audience is going to be like, dude,
I like the idea if you can try to
he's looking at himself a lot, but I keep seeing hair sticking out of like the side of my head. And I'm like
being able to look. I don't care that they see the vanity. I don't care that they see the vanity.
You know what? We all check each other out.
It's Anniewood. It's Anniewood.
The problem is if you check yourself out and then you like lick your mouth and you start like playing with yourself, like that's where I draw the line. But
I have one, after you tell this, before we leave, I have one 2 Girls, 1 Cup story to tell you, but go ahead.
Nah, just send me an email. But there is, I'm down for that. So I was doing these so there was a thing called In Crowd where you could perform on Zoom on a stage for people. And so I did a few Dr. Phil live shows.
All up, like you could see their faces on the screen.
So you're on a stage, but then everybody was watching on Zoom and you had all these big screens in front of you.
And they were paying like real money too.
Sure, yeah. I think I made maybe 10 grand from selling. I did 2 Dr. Phil shows and I had Dana Carvey and Carolla and Joel McHale all Zoom in.
So fun.
And so people could watch it. And it was well put together. And so I guess I did it there first, and so then Whitney was like, and I've gotten a wit to know Whitney more now, but at that point, peers. So her to say, do you want to come by? I was like very flattered and very like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm dressed as Dr. Phil. But you know what? F it. And part of me is like, I'll do stand up as Dr. Phil. And then I get there and it's truly like 9 to 12 people. And I'm like, I can't do stand up as Dr. Phil because it's all just, we're hanging out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to perform for my peers like this. That's weird. Unless I really don't know them and then there's a disconnect and you're the weird guy that's just going to come, not break. I mean, I remember just like came and sat on, and I remember Esther was even like, hey. And she was like, and then I started to go like kind of turn back, like, what is he doing? Like, and then Bobby was like, oh, what's this? Okay.
And then
All right.
Natasha's like, feel the rain on
In
your
my skin,
na,
no
na,
one
na,
else
na.
can play it for you. I started singing as Phill, and then I get up at the very end, and part of me was like, I should just get the fuck out of here. I don't want to actually go up. And everybody was
But
really
for
trying to work
you
shit
to
out.
come as Dr. Phill and then leave is the craziest.
So then here's what I talked about. I go up. I was telling you earlier, and you were asking. This is why you asked about my dad and my stepmom passing away. She, I think, had just passed.
She
was in hospice.
Sick, yeah.
And so I go up there, and I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't really have any bits. No, I did a few bits about, I think I did that Host Spice bit about texting my buddy, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry I can't talk. My stepmom's on hospice. And he was like, dude, she's on Host Spice. Is that a new dating app? Like, hook a brother up with a password. And I was like, so I think I did that. And then people started asking me questions about that. And then I just went down this rabbit hole of like my dad and my mom splitting up and then all this shit. And it was like really dark and not that funny. And then I think at one point, Sarah actually it was definitely you that was just like, can we all just stop and like comment on like how like this is great and like you opening up is great and this is all great, but like you're dressed as Dr. Phill right now and this is fucking insane. And like the fact that you're still powering through and acting like you're not dressed as Dr. Phill is making it even funnier.
It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, this is so insane. And it wasn't like we knew he played Dr. Phill. This was like you're coming out as Dr. Phill to me at least.
Also, what? Yeah, like also like I didn't tell. I think I actually texted Whit like, do you mind if I come like this? She clearly did not relay the message because I just showed up. So now everyone's like, did he get dressed up? And I came in and everyone's going, so I can't come in and go, I was doing another show dressed like this. I just had to sit down and act like I chose to show up to a backyard show with no audience in full prosthetic.
Yeah, do you remember when you had to like pretend that you hadn't been somewhere else that day? You had to be like, I was with no one else today. But anyway, okay, so this is what I want to say. 2 Girls, 1 Cup actually made me become a lesbian for like a week. Because I was hooking up with this bartender when I lived in Santa Fe.
Okay.
And I had a best friend who was a lesbian, short hair. She was like planting seeds. She was like around. And I was always like, I'm not a lesbian. And she was like, don't you think you thinking you're not a lesbian makes you gay? And I was like, what? She would like say these things that would put these like, do these mind tricks on me, right? And then
lesbian voodoo. It
was crazy. And then, so we're at this bar like during the day, like visiting him. And he goes, I got to show you guys something. He was like this like BJJ guy. And so he like brings us back into the office and he shows us 2 Girls, 1 Cup. And I'm like, what? Why would he show this? I was like, why would he do this? Like, it was like so weird. I was like, I can't, like, why would he show
cool,
this?
Right?
And then we like, yeah, he was like, I'm going to show this awesome thing. I'm like, what? Ugh. And then we leave and she's like, is this what you want? And she fingered me that day.
Wow.
She goes, you want this? And I went, I guess not. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great story.
And then we ate our own.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Thank you so much for coming.
Beyond fun. Knew it was going to be fun.
Huge fan.
Todd, you're a ledge.
Huge fan.
You're a ledge.
Always been.
Big fan.
We didn't get any other questions.
Part 2, I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back as Phill,
just
too.
ask one question really quick.
Yeah, give me one.
We start
You
from
got
a
'em on your-
I do?
Yeah.
Where? Oh my God. Just get divorced. He gets a divorce. Sorry. Okay. What is the craziest thing you've witnessed or happened while you were working at Universal Studios?
Oh, wow. Oh, so you got actual question. I thought it was going to be like chicken or beef. I mean, I met a lot of celebs. I saw Michael Jackson there wearing a thing over his face when I was dressed as a fake New York cop. Met Dave Matthews there, Nightstick.
Oh, I thought it was
Hosted the Fear Factor live show. I got projectile vomited on and said, what the f*** into a mic in front of 1,500 kids. Got suspended. My boss was like, what are you doing? Children, you said, what the f*** into the mic in front of all. Didn't you hear those gasps? I go, yeah, but Mike, my boss, I go, what would you do if you get projectile vomited on unannounced? Like you're supposed to go, is that all you got? You know? And let's see. Met Stamos there. I was doing the Nightstick, the 1940s cop, and I would do this bit a lot with old ladies if they were moving slow. I'd blow my whistle and go, slow down, sweetheart, it's not a race. And they go, that's funny because I'm already going slow. So I did to Stamos. I go, hey, bud, slow down. I go, Vidal Sassoon will not run out of hair gel. You can take it down a notch. And he just looks at me and goes, nice. Like almost like cool actor boy.
Have you met him now?
No. With the Laugh Factory once.
Would you say to him,
Yeah.
I did that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That would be the first thing I'd say to him.
Okay, I do that and it bombs every time, by the way. I'll go, I waited on Sam Rockwell. I went up to him at a premiere.
One of my favorite actors of all time.
I used to wait on you. And he was like, He didn't know I
Yeah.
was successfully like I could have been working at the event. Like
Yeah,
I didn't like
he didn't
I was
know.
next to Bill Burr, but I
didn't
hadn't
know.
stop. It was so funny.
Yeah,
Like,
you got to connect the dots sometimes for him. That was wild. Also, as a 1940s cop, my boss, I pulled a squirt gun that was at one of the kiosks up and started squirting people and making a show out of that. It was like 110 in the peak Universal summer. She pulls me aside. What are you doing? It's 1940s New York. There's the New York cab. There's people screaming out of the window. Welcome to New York Street. You're a 1940s cop. You're breaking the fourth wall for the time period. I go, Jenna, with all due respect, 4 times a day, a trolley drives by New York Street with 5 Curious George and SpongeBob SquarePants blasting the song "Ooh Ee Ooh Ah Ah Ching Chang Walla Walla Bing Bang." I'm not a history buff, but I'm pretty sure that song was not a part of World War II. I go, no one gives a this is not 1940. It's not. She goes, what's your job to make them think it is? I go, well, if people leave going, fire that cop. He had a multicolored squirt gun that is not of the time period. They shouldn't even be coming into the park in the first place.
I love how serious they were taking all this stuff. It probably doesn't pay well, right?
Wolverine was $23 an hour, and I did that 4 or 5 days a week. The cop was same because it was a face character. The people in the dwarves that were in like Dora the Explorer and stuff made money.
Really?
The best actually was seeing
they paid them half price.
They did. We'll be right back. There was a guy, Curious George, I remember walked off, took his hat off, and he's like, "This is a little Latino guy," and he was just smoking inside the shit, which was one of my favorite memories.
All right, and then what's your favorite voiceover?
Oh man, the Slimer thing was pretty cool.
Slimer was the coolest thing.
You know why too? Because Paul Feig, if you look up on YouTube, Slimer's audition tape, my name plus Slimer's audition tape. So Paul, done the Heat, he threw me a little part in Spy. And I was a part in Ghostbusters and the lead singer of this band. It was the middle of the movie where they catch a ghost for the first time. And I had about 8 lines and I'm singing a song and a whole stunt thing where they had a stunt guy for me where I get knocked off, knocked into the amps and they pull me up into the air. They had a stunt guy do that, and then they put me upside down about 60, 70 feet in the air and spun me around. And they would go, I would be standing up and then they'd go action and flip me upside down and had a camera facing my face, blood rushing my head. And I was screaming to have a camera in my face to above the crowd. Because when I got knocked on the amps, the ghost pulled me by my feet up into the air. Stunt guy did that.
I love
this.
And
then all the outtakes, by the way, are on my YouTube page too. And so I'm screaming, blood rushing my head, voice going. I could get about 8 to 10 seconds in before I'm passed out, and they'd flip me back up. And so
you're probably getting high.
Yeah, it was wild. Never experienced anything like that. And then they were supposed to drop me into the crowd, come back on stage. All that got cut because Sony had notes, Dan Aykroyd had notes, Reitman's, and Paul. So they all decided, except for Paul, who was trying to keep a lot of my shit in, that if it wasn't about the 4 girls, why do we have other unnecessary to cut to the lead singer of the band with getting attacked by a ghost?
Yeah. So
they cut to my face a few times. Bummer, but whatever. So I go up to Paul. I go, who's doing Slimer? You're not going to get Morgan Freeman, are you? And he's like, no, we don't know, blah, blah. I go, you don't need somebody famous, right? He's like, no. So I go, all right, buy this Slimer mask on Amazon that's got the face cut out and whatever. And I make a fake audition tape and send it to him. And I'm just like, what up, Slimer here? This is my audition tape for Ghostbusters. I was in the first 2. Don't know why I have to fucking audition, but down to play the Hollywood game. So, and then I do the actual voice, put a bunch of water in my mouth and do all that shit. And then I did a bunch of things of like, here's Slimer hitting on a girl at a funeral. And then like being like, and like sad music. And I look up and I go, and then jump cuts. So like, here's Slimer oversleeping through his Bikram yoga class. And then, and then I'd like wake up and then I just go look at time. I go, oh, and then a bunch of those just to make it funny. And then I go to do ADR and for the rocks scene where the ghost before everything got cut. And I opened the book and it said Slimer and the thing. And I was just like, no fucking way.
And that's like, how he told you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Sometimes the jokes land.
Yeah, you're right.
And by the way, that I dropped as if I got Slimer, by the way. You
love that.
I was freaking out.
Wow, yeah.
It's the craziest crap.
I know I had the fucking Slimer High Seas and the cartoon was my favorite character on the cartoon. That was cool, yeah.
Jeremiah got to be the voice of the Joker too on the cartoon.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Anyway, don't get divorced. Go see your wife.
I love you.
We love her.
I love you.
We love the Goo Goo Dolls.
Great episode. A lot of fun. Big fan. All right, we'll figure out the Phil show. I can't wait to have you.
Yes.
That's gonna be a fucking
blast.
And then
do you have a website, people? Well, you're
AdamRayComedy.com for tour dates. Man, we got Seattle coming up, and I don't know when this airs, or if it'll air. When's that? I love that.
Yeah.
So we got Tacoma Comedy Club, June 13th through the 15th. We added a late show in Portland for the Dr. Phill Live at the Aladdin Theater on June 29th. And then coming up, I don't know, Boston, Philly, Chicago, Columbus, Atlanta, AdamRayComedy.com, Dr. Phill Lives on the YouTube. I don't know, podcast about last night. And that's it.
Oh yeah.
I love you.
You're the best.
Thank
Love
you
so much. Really do. We love each other.
It's the meat and potatoes.
Welcome to Anniewood. This is the land of the standies, annies, and fannies, and all of the sleeping nannies. Yeah, welcome to Anniewood. This is the land of the standies, annies, and fannies, and all of the sleeping nannies. I'm gonna fire Oscar. I'm about to prosper. Blingy on my drinky, and Randy is living.
Oh, Randy, how did you feel about today's episode? Was it good? Did you like it? Did you like it outside? Did you like it like a puppuccino? Puppuccino? Did you like a puppuccino? Did you like a puppuccino?